When was the last time I said, I don't have a whole lot to talk about? Hello there everybody, how's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on FlushTube, and I am here with my next update. In the intro there, I asked the rhetorical question of how long has it been since I didn't have a whole lot to talk about. I couldn't tell you how long it's been, but it is nonetheless the case today. Because I'm only working on a few projects at a time, and because my Stitch Mania Summer Olympics event challenge is in a separate slideshow video every few days, I have 4 total projects to show you, 2 of which are past works in progress / current works in progress, and 2 are future. So this is going to be a quick one. I do have a little bit of book talk, which I'm going to try to keep brief, even though I have lots of thoughts, and like the smallest amount of haul. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing I have to show you, I don't have it here physically with me, so I'm going to be inserting some pictures. The reason for that is that it's currently on my frame, and I'm looking at it over there actually. It's currently on my frame, and I didn't bring my frame over. I'm just gonna sort of hash this out with you guys here real quick. I don't have the strength to hold it today. So I don't think I've talked about this much, if at all, on my channel before, but I have what's called neurally mediated hypotension. Basically, what that means is that, so normal people, you're standing up for an extended period of time, and because gravity, all of your blood goes to your feet. Well, your brain needs blood to function, right? So it sends a message to your heart to say, hey, you got to pump a little bit harder because we have to get blood up here. And so your heart starts pumping harder, which is why when you're standing for a long time, you, even without doing anything, you can start to experience as if you were doing activity because your heart is working hard to get blood up to your brain. People with neurally mediated hypotension, myself included, have issues with that. There is something in the connection that gets lost. So either my brain sends the wrong message, or my heart doesn't do what it's supposed to, or my brain doesn't send the message at all. Blood does not get to my brain, and so my body's solution to that is to put me on the ground, which is to say pass out, so that blood can then make it to my brain because gravity, and then all systems go, that sort of a thing. And it's not a big deal. It's totally manageable. I don't stand still for very long. I don't sit still for very long. I had a stress test when I was a kid, and we clocked it at about 45 minutes standing up, and about 2.5 to 3 hours sitting down. So basically that just means that every now and again I have to move, because by working muscles essentially in my legs, that keeps my heart on track and pumping hard to make sure that I can function from head to toe. So the reason that I'm bringing all of this up is that today I had an episode and I passed out. Kind of stupid. I took a shower. That's the other thing, is that with this condition I can't take very long showers because the heat and standing for a long period of time actually makes it worse. It makes it harder for my heart to get the message and to send blood up to my brain. Well, I guess I took a shower that was too long today because I got out of the shower and boom, down she goes. I'm okay. I have triggers and warnings and whatnot, and I got down to the ground safely before I lost consciousness, and I wasn't gone for very long. It was like, I don't know, but previous experience tells me that I go for maybe 5-10 seconds. It's not very long at all. So all of that to say, I didn't bring my frame over here because it's too big. I don't know why I felt it important to explain that. Ooh, the sun just came out and I'm gonna go really pale. I don't know why I felt it really important to explain that, but it's just, it is something that I deal with. Maybe not on a daily basis or even a regular basis, but nonetheless. So I'm not just being lazy. I'm just trying to take it a little bit easy today because I always feel like shaky. Like, I'm not going to show you, but like my hands are shaky. I feel quaky all over. Like, it's just not fun. So yeah, I didn't bring my frame. So this project that we're talking about, this, now we're all imagining this project that's like gargantuan and whatever. It is my Heaven and Earth design, and it is April by Anna Dittman, and I'm working on this for the Heaven and Earth Designs Challenge. It is also midway through, we are also midway through my week 2 of my rotation, which is the Heaven and Earth Designs week. So there you have it. So here's what it will look like finished. And I am working up in this region here. And so I'm going to insert some pictures here so that you can see a before as well as an after of where I am currently. Now I am still working on this piece for the rest of this week. And I'm really hoping that I can get another 4 rows done. I think that that would be ideal, to get 4 more rows done. So we shall see what happens. And of course I will update you guys next week. The current Heaven and Earth Designs Challenge runs until October, so I have plenty of time. The thing about Heaven and Earth Designs is that, you know, like I really love stitching them, but if I don't work on them for a while, it takes some getting used to again. Like I'm not accustomed to that style of stitching until I get a couple days in. So today I must have done 5 or 6 blocks in the span of a couple hours, but it took me the last 2 days to do a row and a half. So, you know, I'm getting better at it with this style. This challenge is awesome, and it may be my new way of stitching. I'm already making plans for stitching across the entire pattern in this row by row sort of style because I really like it. So yeah, so that is my current WIP, and it is getting the most attention this week. Okay, next let's talk my WIP for next week. So on Monday we start my week 3 of my rotation, and my week 3 is it is one of my Focus 8 pieces, one of my final 8, and this week just so happens to be Opus 2, aka Maggie, and this is by Long Dog Samplers. And here's a preview of what it will look like finished. And the part that I am working on is this motif down here, so that element down there. Okay, and I am stitching this on, I believe it's a 28 count cashel, but I haven't measured it in a while, in Antique White by Zweigart. And so that's what I've got thus far, and I'll work on this next week. This is also a part of my Summer Olympic event challenge, and so I'll work on this for about an hour tomorrow or so. So this is the very top of that motif that I was pointing out to you. This design I am stitching entirely in DMC 924. I told you guys this story quite a while ago about how I needed a skein of it for my chatelaine, and I ended up ordering a box from Amazon, so I got 10 skeins for $5, which is, you know, it's pretty cool. So I have like a ton of this hanging around, and I don't use it for anything else. So that is that. that will be my whip next week, and I will show you next week the progress I make for the first couple days. Okay, now let's get into the Stitch Mania month-long sale. The current month-long sale is All That Glitters. I explained to you guys last week that my All That Glitters pieces I am working on Saturday and Sunday, and my rotation pieces are going away on Saturday and Sunday. So essentially, last week, I worked on this on Saturday and Sunday. And it is my Shadowline by Frosty Knot Garden. You'll be seeing a preview here of what it looked like the last time I showed it to you. And here is where it is today. And I'm so excited, you guys. When I finished this part, I cried. Because the mountains are done. They are all done. Whew, I wanted to quit so bad. So when I showed this to you last time, I had some of the darkest blue and this mountain here on the bottom, and then I had this one left to do. And now they are all done. So for All That Glitters, I mean, we're supposed to be working on things that are sparkly. So I made sure I did a couple of things that were sparkle based. I guess it's like a leaf tree. It's like a tall bush, I don't know, that is repeated around all four sides. And you can see I have the top one done. It is outlined in a Petite Treasure braid. So I did the outline for the bottom one, and I did the outline for this one. So let's see if you can see that. Maybe not. Let's see here. I'm gonna fold things up all awkwardly. Yeah, so you can kind of see there's some Petite Treasure braid along the edge of the mountain. And then you can see right in there's some more sparkles. So I did quite a lot of sparkle. This took me well over 7 hours. It takes a really long time to do these mountains. The reason that it takes so long, and there's 5 or 6 colors in there, but and I don't even want to call it confetti, but there's just like stitches everywhere. So you have to really pay attention. Anyway, I'm in love. Sorry guys, my nose itches. Floss tube, itchy nose. I got a bad case of Finn today. So there it is. Oh gosh, it looks so good. I'm just going to leave it here for a second and hope that you can see it all. So gorgeous. So this sort of brings up a question for me. I'm supposed to be doing a different project for the last 3 weekends of August for All That Glitters. I'm contemplating not. I'm contemplating only doing this one. What do you guys think? I guess I probably should give the other projects their due attention because they need some love too. I also contemplated switching up my week 3 so that I could focus on this, but I think I'm just going to move on, do what I'm supposed to do. So if I don't change my mind, or if I do change my mind, let's strike that, reverse it. If I decide to go with the prescribed plan of doing a different project for All That Glitters this weekend, I'm going to be working on my Graceful Reindeer. And this design is by Marie Barber. It's from Just Cross Stitch, November, December 2015. And this was one of my Mania starts. It's one of my absolute favorite pieces. And this is where I'm at. You can barely see the antlers. Oh, that helps. So the antlers and like 90% of this piece is stitched in Krennic. And so that will be my sparkly. So that is that. This fabric is a 32 count Belfast in Rosewood by Picture This Plus. So pretty. Love this piece. And at some point during my speech just there, you will have seen what it will look like finished. Ugh, I just love dropped frames. But at least it was at a good time because that is the end of the projects that I have to show you. I told you it's not much, but that's the way my rotation is working, and I really kind of like it. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. So let's move on. I have just the smallest amount of haul. I needed a pack of needles, so I got a pack of needles. I'm not going to show you those. I also got the Silken Colors that I needed for the August by Cricut collection. This is SNC 109 Slate Blue. That's pretty accurate there. So that will go in my August kit. And then I also got the most perplexing issue of Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. Here's why I say it's perplexing. It's gorgeous, don't get me wrong. So everything in font and text on here is in red and green, which would lead one to believe that this is a Christmas issue. But it is supposedly their fall 2016 issue. It's a little weird. So flipping through here, it is a Christmas issue. There is nothing fall about this. It's all Christmas. It's all winter. So I don't know if this is like the end for Cross Stitch and Needlework this year. Like, is there really only 2 issues for the whole year? Or is there going to be another? I don't know. This is very strange. So I'm going to do just a really quick flip through of some of the projects. There are some cute things in here. I don't know that I'll stitch any of it, but there are some cute things. So that's that. And then there's those. I really do kind of like this. They're little penguins and they're dressed up. Let's see here. This is a Faith Angel tree topper. And her face and skin is all charted in 1/1. That's pretty. This is a Gloria sampler. Very pretty. It's a Christmas issue, you guys. This is just, it's so bizarre to me. Oh, these. I love these. Holly Jolly Santas. They're kind of cute. And here's a few more Santa designs that are in this. So, if anybody knows anything about Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine, like, are they going away? Because 2 magazines in a year, that seems kind of funny to me. Oh, here's a bigger image of the penguins. Those are really cute. I might stitch that. At first I didn't think there was anything that I was really interested in, but those guys are cute. And that's that. So that's the Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. Curious to know what's going on with that. Not sure. But that's all I've got as far as cross stitch is concerned. So let's do books really quickly. The first, I'm going to try really hard not to go on a dissertation about this. But there's one book that I did finish in the last week. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by Jack Thorne because of J.K. Rowling and John Tiffany. It says by J.K. Rowling, but no way. So my thoughts on this book are as follows. I rated it 3 stars. every single book in the Harry Potter series I rated 5 stars. Even Chamber of Secrets, which is my least favorite of the series, still has its merits and deserved the 5 stars. This, I feel like the 3 stars is generous. And the reason I say that is because the more I think about this, the more angry I get. I cried in the first few pages of this because of the nostalgia. And that's the most that I got from it, was a return to some characters and a return to a world that you only get in this. This is called, it's been dubbed the 8th Harry Potter story. No, I'm sorry. I can't associate this with that because reasons. There are so many things about this that bother me. Like, there are details of the world and the magic system that J.K. Rowling laid down that are totally disregarded in this. Now, I understand that this is a play, and based on some feedback that I've gotten from, in particular, one person I know of, she's actually the one who designed my book blog and put together my design theme. She lives in the UK and she got to see the play. She said that the production, 4 stars plus. The book, 2 stars. Because this is meant to be a play. It's meant to be on stage. And I mean, I know that it's a script. I know that it's the rehearsal edition script. So it's not even necessarily the final script. And I know that productions are dependent on so many things beyond what can be in a book. I mean, there's imagery and there's facial expressions and there's body language that's involved on top of set design and other limitations that are brought on by production. So I get it, that it's different. That's not what bothers me. What bothers me are the little things, like all of the characters. No. I'm just frustrated with it. I think I described it like this, and several of you have heard this. My husband has seen the Harry Potter movies once. I made him watch them because it was not his time. He's a few years older than me, and Harry Potter was like built for my age bracket. So it missed him. So anyway, so he's seen the movies once. He hasn't read the book. He doesn't believe in reading, which we won't go into that. But I describe Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It's like fan fiction written by my husband. He has an idea of the story, he has an idea of the world, he has an idea of the characters, but he missed a lot of details, of character nuances, of relationships. So that's pretty much how I feel about it. Fan fiction written by my husband. So I'm going to get off my soapbox about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I would love to talk more about it, but I don't want to get too spoilery. So I will leave it at that. So let's get on to what I'm currently reading. I am currently reading The Quick and the Thread by Amanda Lee. And yes, that is a bobbin for my bookmark. I fell asleep reading the other night, and smart man that he is, Danny grabbed a bobbin for a bookmark rather than folding the pages because he knows that is sacrilege. Don't dog ear pages on books, it's rude. Anyway, Plus, I think it's kind of appropriate. A bobbin, quicken the thread. I'm very barely into this, just about 38 pages. I already have theories, but I am going to hold off on mentioning those theories for a little bit. So, there we have it. Quicken the Thread by Amanda Lee. And that is, of course, a Stitchers Book Club. It's one of our books of the month. I started with that one because I knew I was going to fall asleep, and it's a much faster read than the other one, I think. So there's that. And then I am also reading this gargantuan beast, Dance with Dragons, Book 5 in A Song of Ice and Fire. Let's see. Last time I talked to you guys, I was just at page 500. I am now on page 579. There have been some interesting developments, but nothing I can really go into, being book 5. So there's that. And again, I'm listening to that on audio. It is narrated by Roy Dotrice, who actually was in the show. If you guys pay attention to the show, he played a couple seasons ago. They were getting ready for the War on the Blackwater, and Cersei had a conversation with the I can't remember what his title is, but essentially he worked on he's a pyromancer. He was one of the caretakers of the Green Flame, if that means anything. He played that guy, so that's kind of cool. The narrator, an actor. I hate his voice for Daenerys, but I can let that go. And then the next book, which I'm looking at these two books together and they kind of look kind of alike. I wonder if they're by the same publisher. Not in the slightest. Okay, well anyway, the next book that I've got coming up is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is a young adult fantasy novel that was originally just a standalone, and the author was convinced to start to turn it into a duology, and so she wrote the second book, A Torch Against the Night, I believe is the name of it. Anyway, this is an incredibly popular young adult fantasy novel. I had to let the hype of it die down a little bit because hype on books just bothers me a little bit. That being said, I'm reading on the back. There's some blurbs by some authors: Marie Lu, Melissa De La Cruz, Holly Goldberg Sloan, Margaret Stoll, and Brandon Sanderson. That's really telling. Brandon Sanderson he finished up the Wheel of Time series after Robert Jordan passed. I've talked about him a few times on my channel. He is a big name in the world of fantasy, and so if he's blurbing this, that's saying something. So I'm going to read just the back. It says, "I will tell you the same thing I tell every slave. The resistance has tried to penetrate this school countless times. I've discovered it every time. If you're working with the resistance, if you contact them, if you think of contacting them, I will know and I will destroy you." And then it says, Laia is a slave, Elias is a soldier, neither is free. Under the Martial Empire, defiance is met with death. Those who do not vow their blood and bodies to the Emperor risk the execution of their loved ones and the destruction of all they hold dear. It is in this brutal world, inspired by ancient Rome, that Laia lives with her grandparents and older brother. The family ekes out an existence in the Empire's impoverished back streets. They do not challenge the Empire. They've seen what happens to those who do. But when Laia's brother is arrested for treason, Laia is forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother, she will risk her life to spy for them from within the Empire's greatest military academy. There, Laia meets Elias, the school's finest soldier, and secretly, its most unwilling. Elias wants only to be free of the tyranny he's being trained to enforce. He and Laia will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined and that their choices will change the fate of the Empire itself. Yeah, that sounds really good. And one of my favorite aspects of fantasy, a gorgeous map on the inside front cover. Love maps. So, very much looking forward to this. Oh good, more dropped frames. But that's alright. I'm very much looking forward to getting to An Ember in the Ashes. That book was chosen for me by Heather Stitches, actually. And it is one of the challenges in a Stitchers book club is to choose the read for the person who listed their choices before you. So that's kind of a cool thing. So that I'm going to try to get to here pretty soon. I've got to get on with the book club books, so that is my first priority, but nonetheless. Alright, y'all. I can't believe it. It's probably under half an hour, I'm not sure, because everything is dropped frames today. So I'm going to go edit this and then try to relax a little bit and get some more stitching in. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Happy stitching. I will see you later this week with my next slideshow for the Olympics, and I will see you next Wednesday.